Aloha and shalom. We are now live for the new moon activation portal. For those of you returning, welcome back to the portal. We've been doing these videos for years, consistently every single week. And a pretty awesome community has formed around these activations. And for those of you who are new to the activation portal, I should let you know that these videos don't necessarily have anything to do with the moon other than the fact that we use it as a measurement of time so that we can meet up in a pattern consistently. So it creates structure, a special sacred ritual that we can build upon over time. Really, the shape of the moon is a reflection of what's happening behind all things, within all things, including each one of us. Everything is a reflection of the original one, which lives inside of you. So the shape of the moon is simply telling you, giving you a hint as to where you're at in your process. And we are a collective. So whatever energy you're experiencing, I'm experiencing too. We're all experiencing it on an individual level, but also on a collective level. And that's what these activations are about. Helps us to really see the bigger picture and depersonalize our story and understand that we're all going through this. Helps us get out of our own heads so that we can rise above the details of our material reality to understand what's really going on behind the scenes. Awesome. See you guys tuning in. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. As usual, I'm tuning in from the most magical Sedona, Arizona in the USA. I love to see where you're all tuning in from. So just a suggestion, if you're new to these videos, I've suggested this before, you might want to see as folks are commenting where they're tuning in from, you might want to see an image in your mind's eye of the world, the earth, and see those points on the globe lighting up like little lighthouses all around the world until the whole planet is illuminated. We have Australia, another Australia. We have Portland, Oregon. We have Louisiana in the house. And like I said, I'm in Sedona, Arizona, super special place. If you haven't heard of it before, look it up. Massachusetts. So again, you could just see the globe lighting up because that's quite literally what we're doing when we meet in this space and receive this timeless message of truth from the archetypes. We all meet in that space of timelessness, that space of truth, of love, of light. And we anchor in this aura of immortality, this aura of illumination. Quebec in the house, South Dakota in the house, Santa Cruz, California, Folsom, California, Canada. We lighten it up. And just remember, you guys, that these cards are representations of the different aspects of your own mind and of our one collective mind. That's all they are. It's nothing to be afraid of. Each card is representing a fundamentally operative law. Nothing to be afraid of. They're just personified laws. And the reason they're personified is so that we have an image that is relatable, so that we can even make sense of it and understand it in any small way, because really what we're touching are these primordial energies, and if we didn't personalize them and give them these faces and these symbols, we'd have no way to connect. We have to be familiar with the images in order for them to even register in our consciousness. Nebraska, California, Alaska, North Carolina. So I'm just shuffling these up. And when we're shuffling them, remember what they're representing. They're representing different parts of the mind. So we're really just, as we shuffle them, and we're doing this together, as we shuffle them, we're just touching the different parts of the one. We're saying hello to the different parts of the one. We're lighting them up, activating them, connecting with them. That's all we're doing. Now I'm going to go ahead and shuffle my Hebrew cards. For those of you who've never seen them before, they look like this. I made them. Alaska, North Carolina, global family, lighting it up. And the Hebrew cards work the same way, okay? So the letters in the Hebrew alphabet or Hebrew alphabet are also representing different parts of the mind. That's all. Different parts of the one, different faces of the one. So we're saying hello to them, touching them all, lighting them up. We have Florida in the house, Virginia in the house, Illinois in the house. All right, we're shuffled. So this is the new moon. So what is that telling us about our process right now? We're at a fresh start, new beginning. It looks like there's a planet behind me. That's a light. That's actually a reflection in the mirror of the light that's in front and above me. Looking pretty psychedelic right now. I'm digging it, digging the blue vibes. We have California in the house, another Wisconsin in the house. Okay, so new moon is about a new beginning, fresh start. The sky is dark. The stars are lit up in the sky. You can feel sort of like you're in the womb, about to be reborn. What is this fresh start about? So as usual, we're going to pull first from the tarot and we're going to ask, what is the challenge of the week? And I just want to say thank you in advance to the archetypes, faces of the one which exist in you and in me and within all things. I'm saying thank you in advance for the message that's about to come through. And it's because of our presence together here now that this special message is going to come through. So thank you, me, we, one. Here we go. The challenge of the week as we begin this new journey. Boom. Something that we need to acknowledge in order to fully let go. And maybe some of us have already, let go more than others. But the point is this card that will come up is going to show us the thing that wants to be acknowledged. Meaning for some of us, it's going to be like, oh, wow, yeah, I still see how there's some work I can do there to let this go so that I can really move forward with this new beginning. And for others, this card will look like, oh, yeah, I'm proud of myself. That's exactly what I let go of this past cycle, and I'm ready to move forward. So you see, we're all experiencing it, but to a different degree. Okay, so it's just this final piece that wants to be acknowledged by all of us, and each to a different degree. And then we will, as usual, pull a Hebrew letter for the ally of the week. Our strength, our main ally, to help us most gracefully, with the least amount of effort, move through this part of the process. I just want to show you guys what it looks like here, in case you're ever curious. That's all. All right. So, the challenge of the week. 3 of Cups. It looks like this. Cups is the suit of the heart, feelings, emotions. And where do we experience those feelings most deeply? With others. Really, who is the other? There's only one here, right? But within the other, or the perceived other, we see our own reflection. And that's when the most feelings come up, when we're in relationship. All kinds of relationship. In fact, everything is a relationship because everything is one relating with oneself. And the 3 is about action. Number 3 is all about action. Okay, so we're seeing action and we're seeing emotions, feelings. It's about communication. Acting on our feelings, particularly as far as communications with others, connecting with others, acting on our relationships, acting through our relationships. So this being the challenge this week, it's saying, how are we acting with others? How are we communicating with others? Who are we communicating with? And as you can see, these 3 here are cheersing their cups, they're lifting their cups in celebration. And we should be asking this week, who are we celebrating with? Who are we celebrating life with? Who are we connecting with right now and why? Is it really serving us to connect with these people right now, these beings? Is it your family? Is it friends? Is it coworkers? What are you celebrating right now? And really, each moment is a celebration of life. Each moment is an opportunity to carry that gratitude for life. So first, look at what you are celebrating. Are you celebrating anything? Are you really bringing that gratitude into your life, into your relationships? If not, how can you begin to? How can you make every moment a celebration with the relationship you have with yourself and with the relationship you are having with each person around you? How have you maybe been treating your relationships from this space of maybe a lack of empathy, a lack of feeling, a lack of emotion? Maybe your relationships have become mundane. Maybe they've become so routine. Maybe you're forgetting to insert the magic and the gratitude. How can you make it a celebration with your child, with your lover, with your mother, with your sister, brother, with your boss, with whoever it is? I challenge you to look at all of your relationships, and even the passersby, even the people that you come in contact with only for a moment. How can you celebrate that passing moment? Because really all these moments, each moment is fleeting, is so quickly passing us by. So how are we making life a celebration? This is the challenge this week. And so for some of us, remember, the challenge is experienced more on the challenge side. And for others, we'll be experiencing it on the more of the gift side. The challenge is also the gift. The challenge is one with the gift. So let me explain that a little further. For some of us, we might feel more challenged in this aspect. Our relationships feel strained. It feels like it's taking a lot of effort just to communicate at all. I think I heard Mercury went direct, so that should be good news to some of you, but that doesn't matter. The point is, each moment we have the opportunity, whether Mercury's going in this direction or that, doesn't matter. We always have the opportunity to use our will consciously, to consciously direct our will, to make an effort to celebrate life and to celebrate our relationships. And the thing is, whether Mercury's going this way or that, whatever the circumstances are, it doesn't matter, because it will either be, more effort or less effort. But either way, our standards of life should still be the same. Our values should still be the same. Our morals should still be upheld, whether it's easy or it's hard. In fact, when it's harder to uphold those morals, it's even better, because more magic comes from that. When it's harder to be virtuous, when it's harder to hold that positive vibration, when it's harder to be good, do good, be of service, that's when it counts the most. So it really doesn't matter what the circumstances are. The point is, we should be carrying gratitude. We should be especially carrying gratitude for the people around us, especially the people that we are choosing to surround ourselves with. If you're saying yes to a relationship every day, and I mean the most obvious ones are, I guess, your children, your lover, maybe your siblings that you live with, the people that are in your life every day, you're choosing them. You choose to be with them every moment. Whether it was a soul contract you had to come into this life with the family you're living with, or a very conscious choice in this material reality. It's a choice to be with the people that we're with all the time. So who are you choosing to put yourself around all the time? And it doesn't only go for those people. This still applies to, like I said, people you're passing by in the streets as well. But you really want to look especially to those people that you're choosing to be with every day. Because why would you choose? You're choosing to put yourself next to this person so consistently. But if there's any resistance there, it's like your contracts are you're not in alignment. You're saying yes in a way. You're saying, yes, I want this person in my life, but your communications with them and your actions toward them, your behavior toward them, the energy you're carrying around them says, no, I don't want them in my life. So it's really important to look at that. In what ways are we saying yes to the relationships in our lives? Maybe, outwardly, but inwardly, there's something about us saying no. How can we bring that all to the surface? Really look at it and choose wholeheartedly to have these people in our lives or to let them go. To make space for other people, other situations. And the thing is, let's open this up a bit here. It's not just about people. Because everything is you, so everything is a relationship with the self, right? So it's not just about the people we choose to have in our lives, but all of our choices, every choice we make, every reality that we choose to move closer to. How are we either saying yes or saying no? If we think we're saying yes, how can we look a little bit closer and see how there's still some part of us resisting? Even if it looks like you're saying yes on the outside, yes, honey, I love you. Yes, I want this job. Yes, I want to move into this house. Is there some part of you that's going, I'm kind of settling. I don't fully want to be around this person. I don't actually really want this job. I actually chose this house out of fear because I feel I won't be able to find a better house. I feel that I'm not worthy of a better partner. I feel that I won't be able to be promoted to a better position with work. So I'm lying to myself and I'm going, yeah, this is awesome. But inside, it's not really actually feeling awesome. And you can't fool yourself. See, that's the thing. You can't fool yourself. There's only self here. There's only one. So be honest. Be honest about your choices. You're not going to hurt anyone but yourself in the end because there's only one. You hurt the one when you're not honest about your choices, about your decisions. When you make a decision, do it wholeheartedly and understand that you'll always have an opportunity to change your mind. But once you make your decision, you have to give it a full shot. You have to give it a full, fair shot. And every moment is a decision that we have to make. Every step forward we take in life, there's a decision waiting to be made. Especially with relationships, all right? This is a cups card, so it's about feelings. So relationships are going to be the biggest thing, but it's also all those realities that we call forth that invoke our feelings, that bring out our heart, that pull on our heartstrings. What do you have going on in your life right now that's pulling on your heartstrings? Whether it's relationships, new projects. Are you fully invested? Are you fully in it? Or is there some part of you that feels resistance? Really honor that. Really look at that. It's not something to be scared of. It's awesome. It's going to show you more about who you really are and what you really want, but you got to first look at it. And you got to be honest. And even if you don't know how to get out of the decision you already made, and maybe that's where the fear is coming from. You don't even want to look at it because you know the truth, so you don't want to look at it because you know you're going to have to find a new plan. You're going to have to find some way out of it. This is the thing, you guys. Nothing matters as much as embodying that virtuous light. This is the whole reason we're here, so don't forget that. Don't forget that. Honesty is key with yourself, which is all. So for example, because we're talking about relationships here, if you feel stuck in your relationship in some way, be honest, just communicate that. Start there. This is what I'm feeling. And if you speak from your heart and you speak it innocently, you've got to trust that no matter what comes of that as a result of your being honest, it'll be perfect. It'll be perfect. You are protected when you are embodying virtuous light. If you're embodying the virtues, if you're embodying honesty, truthfulness, then you will be protected by law. So even if, I'm not saying someone's not going to like what you have to say. I'm not saying that. But even if someone doesn't like what you have to say, bring it on. Why are you going to sit there and be afraid to say it all the while you're building up this tension so that by the time you actually do say it, that person, instead of just maybe being a little upset and then moving on, is going to be even more upset that you lied this whole time, that you were dishonest this whole time, and that you couldn't just tell them. And they're going to sit there and think at all the moments that you forced a smile on your face and that you were fake to them and that all those moments you were dishonest. Every moment that you maintain a dishonest vibration, you are cultivating that darkness, that pain, that suffering, and you have to pay those karmic points later. So stop racking them up. Stop racking them up. Do what you have to do, especially if there's fear there. Get it over with. Because so long as you remain in that fear, you can deny it as much as you want, but you're racking up the karmic points and you're going to have to pay the price. You're not helping anyone by living in denial. If there's a part of you that feels like you have to suppress your authenticity, you have to suppress your integrity, you have to suppress your light, the light of who you truly are, in order to be in a relationship, take a new job position, whatever it is, mainly relationships. That's what it's all about, you guys. If you feel you have to compromise your true self in order to stay in that relationship, know this: each moment you maintain that game of denial, self-denial, you're only hurting the one. So be honest. And the people that you do feel you can be so grateful for right here, right now, the relationships that you are so grateful for, that you know you can celebrate. We're being invited to celebrate more. We're being invited to physically act on those feelings. How can you celebrate your relationships even more? How can you celebrate the blessings of life even more each moment? And it's simple. You can start by just closing your eyes and sharing your gratitude with that person in your mind's eye, your inner vision. Simple as that. You can call someone up and say, gosh, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you. Done. That's it. Simple. You can make a gift. You can re-gift something you have, repurpose something you have into a gift. You can offer, service. You can say, hey, I would love to do something for you. What is it that I can help you with? If there's something I can do, let me know. Or you can do an act of kindness without even letting them know it's you. You can leave flowers at the door and walk away. There are so many opportunities. You can ask, hey, what's something that you really don't like doing? Oh, the laundry, let me come and do it for you. Let me do it with you. How about I keep you company at least? Just be thoughtful. Help others. Be of service. Acts of service, it's one of the love languages. And we all have different love languages. And so the best way that you can serve those you love is by getting to know what their love language is. It's not about, what works for you. It's about what works for them. And that's how you really tune into them in a selfless way. So it's time to really celebrate the relationships we have more. Celebrate the blessings of life more. And if we're feeling resistance, first know that, hey, whatever's in our life right now, we manifested that. So it's okay, it's there for a reason, and that resistance needs to be looked at, it needs to be communicated, it needs to be smoothed out and worked through. So what's something we need to walk away from in order to free up our energy to better do this? Okay, right away I see a very clear connection between these two cards. So this is the Page of Wands. And this is the thing that needs to be acknowledged before we move ahead here with the new moon and this process of celebrating our life to the best of our ability. Pages are the youthful aspects of the suit. They're the open-minded, fresh perspective of the suit that is pulled, of the element that's pulled. This is fire, it's spirit. The Page of Wands is all about finding new inspiration on the spiritual path. Feeling inspired, feeling activated, feeling excited about life. Well, yeah, duh, right? How can we feel that way? How can we feel renewed and excited and passionate about life if we're giving all of our energy to relationships or a relationship that is not supporting us to be in that space? Because just one relationship can drain you so much, that you lose yourself, you forget who you are. And then instead of celebrating that relationship and celebrating yourself and your path and finding, new things to try, new things to do, being excited about the realizations and the revelations that come of the path of spiritual and psychological expansion, we instead find ourselves just trudging through the day and in our heads resenting that one person or maybe you're resenting everyone in your life. Maybe you're just fed up with everyone. You're even fed up with yourself. And so you're just walking around all day, all negative, thinking about all the things that this person says and does, and you're just judging them, and probably judging yourself, because we judge others when we judge ourselves, right? And you just get stuck in this loop. And you lose that excitement for life in general. Think about it. Everything is a reflection of the one. So if you're spending so much of your time, if you're directing your mind so much toward resenting any one being, what you are doing is resenting life itself. And you're missing the mark. You're missing the whole point. So really ask yourself, are you celebrating life every moment? Or are you cursing it? Are you resenting it? Are you celebrating the people around you? The strangers, your family, your friends, your lover? Or are you cursing them? Are you celebrating some people and cursing others? How can you make it your responsibility? Because it is. How can you make it your responsibility to celebrate everyone on your path in some way? And you can really begin to rewrite that script right now. You can really program that into your subconscious by saying, all right, moving forward today, I'm going to write a list of everyone in my life. And on that list, I'm also going to write down strangers, okay? Even strangers. And then I'm going to write down Tom and Sally and Keisha and whoever, okay? I'm going to write down every name of all the people in my life that I can think of, that I see on a consistent basis. And then I'm going to write down strangers, or people I pass by in the street. Just like that. People I pass by in the street. And I'm going to write this program for my mind. And I'm going to write down next to each of these names how I celebrate those people. So for example, you write down for your mother, wow, I'm celebrating that she brought me into this world. And that's a blessing that never goes away. Even if she calls you up complaining about something, you will have that program so deeply engraved in your mind that she gave me life, that blessing, that celebration for who she is, who her true self, her true spirit is, will surpass all of those negative thoughts that could possibly arise within your consciousness. Because I'm choosing, above any frustrations that might come up in my relationship with my mother, to see that. And you do the same thing with your father. God bless you if you have both your parents still. Write them both down, okay? Your sister, your brother, your friends. Write down the biggest reason they're a blessing in your life, which is also the reason why you even choose to keep them in your life. This is how you renew their meaning in your life. This is how you renew their purpose in your life. Okay, go down the list when you get to strangers. I'm grateful because for strangers, I know that nothing is a coincidence, and I pass each person for a reason. And I feel blessed knowing that there is absolutely something there that is divinely orchestrated, God's directive, and that's a blessing. And so then you can go down the list and go deeper into the meditation, go deeper into the visualization, attaching your ideas of celebration and blessing of each of these individuals to their names, to their faces, so that you take the frequency of who they are and match it to this powerful feeling of gratitude. See, it's a feeling. It's not just a word like, oh, mother, she gave me life. These are not just words. She gave me life. I feel that and really feel it. And as you're feeling it, see her face in your mind's eye. See her name written. Letters carry frequencies. They're connected to numbers, numerology, sacred frequencies, sacred vibrations. So when you attach the feeling to the name, it does something very powerful. And you want to declare as you go down this list, this is what I'm going to absolutely integrate into my consciousness, so that no matter what happens with these people, as I cross paths with them each day, as I communicate with them each day, as I interact with them each day, no matter what happens, I'm going to feel so deeply that love and celebration for each of these beings, and that's what they're going to feel from me. And I trust by law that that love will be mirrored, and it will no doubt support our relationships in some positive way. Of course, think about it. This is not some like woo-woo thing here. This is very, very real. This is real work, you guys. It's actual science. Of course, it's going to have at least some positive effect, rather than just sitting around and carrying subconscious resentment. Don't you think this is better than just walking around carrying some subconscious resentment? This is how we do the work. We think about the people we're going to cross paths with every day. And yes, we cross paths with strangers every day. So even strangers have to be on the list. And we got to really put in there what feeling we're going to choose to feel above all of the BS, above all of the bickering and the negativity that comes up. Because you know what? The negativity and the darkness is not real anyway. It eventually crumbles. Like the tower that falls, right? It's not real anyway. The only thing that lasts forever is light. And when we carry the light of the virtues, that is that light that lasts forever. It's the eternal light. It's the original light of creation. So if we could hold on to that feeling of celebration and blessing and love and gratitude for each being in their own way, then we create more of an opportunity for us to stay in that light, to maintain a frequency of virtue, of immortality, because when you carry the light of the virtues, you carry a frequency of immortality. You reduce suffering. You relieve suffering. You get rid of it entirely, even over time, as you be consistent. You reverse the aging process. You become a pillar of light for everybody you cross paths with. So that's what we want to do, create as much of an opportunity as possible to be that pillar of light, and to be that pillar of light that's also going to be reflected in the eyes and in the spirits of those around you. Because when you're that pillar of light, then others are inspired to be that. So you can either, again, walk around without doing any of this process, just totally unconscious, flailing around, flailing through life, carrying all kinds of subconscious resentments. Or you can really dig deep, look at what those resentments are, make peace with them, clear them out, and declare that you are going to see the blessing in each person in your own way. In your own way. And carry that. Because remember, the bickering and all that, it's not real anyway. It's not going to produce any sort of a lasting effect. All that BS dies with this body when we go. And if we don't do this work to really so consciously, with great effort, hold a blessed vision of each of these people and how they serve us in life and how we can serve them, if we don't carry that love for each of these beings, we instead create more of an opportunity to live a more meaningless life, to live a life that doesn't produce as much light. We create rather an opportunity to move through life with suffering, with pain, for the oneself, for ourselves and for others. We create more of an opportunity to forget who we are, who they are. And what happens is we end up taking ourselves for granted, and we end up taking everyone for granted. Because if you take yourself for granted, that's it, you're done right there. Because there's only one here. So what do we want to do? Do we want to just keep on trudging through life, subconsciously building these resentments, and as a byproduct, just taking everyone and everything for granted? Or do we want to choose right here, right now, to see the blessing in each being beyond all of the BS that's inevitably going to rise up in our relationships, because it happens? Okay, so again, just connecting these two cards, we've got to understand that if we've been feeling a lack of inspiration in our lives, a lack of passion in our lives, it's because we're not really appreciating ourselves and those around us. Remember to include yourself on that list. What are the things that you love about yourself? What can you celebrate about yourself? What's the blessing that you're going to choose to see in yourself on those days when you look in the mirror and you're not feeling so great? Or when you're judging yourself and you're getting down on yourself and you're hating on yourself and you're falling into that spiral again, as we all do, what is the celebration you're going to hold on to about yourself that you're going to go, oh, no, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to rise up to that, to see that, because that's what really matters. That's more important. The shame, the guilt, the fear that I've been carrying is leading me nowhere. In fact, all of that darkness can't produce anything. It's going to just die when this body does. So how can I instead rise above and beyond that darkness to see the blessing that I am and celebrate myself? Just choose one thing, or go on, because I know the list can go on, because I know that we all have many gifts. But just choose one thing to celebrate about yourself and hold on to that. Because none of it's real. Ren made a comment here. She said, I'm really getting down on myself lately, binge eating. Oh my God, yes. So many of us feel that. Is it even particularly with that? Because we're human. That's what we do. We eat when we're sad, right? It goes way deeper than that. But really, that's a great example. But really, what is this body anyway? What are the effects of the binge eating? And why are we going to get down on ourselves and just feel fear, shame, guilt, anxiety? Where's that going to lead us? Instead, for example, if you're feeling like, dang, I really binged all night and I'm feeling gross. Oh, well, good thing I'm not this body anyway. Okay, what's something beautiful about myself that I can focus on right now? Let me just immediately go to that like a meditation. Pick up your mala beads. Whatever you have to do. Repeat, repeat, repeat the blessing, the celebration. Repeat, repeat, repeat the blessing, the celebration. Nothing else matters nearly as much. Nothing else is even real. It's not worth your energy. Go back to the blessing, because that light that you feel, that joy that you feel when you meditate on the blessing that you are, that your friend is, that your lover is, that your brother is, that your child is, you feel good. That's a good, positive vibration. Yeah. Okay, so that positive vibration, it's real, it's light, it's love, it's truth, and that lasts forever. And you will feel so good if you can just keep at it. At first, it might feel funny, like, oh, I can't do this, this is fake. Oh, but it's not. It's the only thing that's real. And if you keep at it consistently, what you'll begin to feel and experience is this purposefulness. You'll feel full of purpose. Oh my goodness, I'm cultivating light. I'm cultivating light. It's creating an aura of immortality around me. It's creating health. It's creating joy, which is everlasting, as opposed to all the negativity you were feeling that was getting you nowhere. So it's worth a shot. Luke says, Beach Boys. No, it was actually Bob Marley, but there is a, she's giving me the good vibration. That's the Beach Boys, but we love them all. We love them all. It's all one. Okay, so that's the thing here. If you've been feeling a lack of inspiration and passion in your life, look at how you've not been bringing that passion and inspiration to your relationships. Look at where you've been ungrateful for what's already around you, and even for yourself. And who is the ally of the week? The Kaf. And this is the Hebrew letter that's associated with strength. The strength card in the tarot, which is actually number 11. In modern tarot, it's associated with card 8. That's a manipulation. If you want to know more, please ask me about my videos on manipulation. I'd be happy to share them with you. Strength is actually card 11 in the ancient tarot. And Kaf is connected, this letter, this Hebrew letter Kaf is connected to that strength card, that archetype. Also in my book, which happens to be right behind me, I talk about the symbol for this that comes with this letter Kaf. And it's like a crown upon the head. And when we remember the real crown, the real king, queen, mother, father, God, source, Allah, Hashem, whatever you want to call it, we remember our true strength and our true power. In order to open up to that power, that strength, which is beyond our little self, in order to open up to the strength of the one almighty creator, one self, We have to be open, receptive, which is our feminine aspect, our feminine nature. We all are beings of polarity. We all are made up of the forces of polarity, masculinity and femininity, activity and receptivity. And in order to be receptive and open, we need to be in that feminine element, which requires humility and surrender. Okay, this is the ally for a reason this week. Some of us may be feeling more powerful than others. We may be using our gifts to manipulate others or to belittle others. And this is the number one thing that keeps us in that separateness consciousness, keeps us struggling with our relationships, because it creates a power play. Where can you be more humble in your relationships? Because humility is key in repairing our relationships. And remember, in regard to these guys that we just pulled, if we're carrying resentment toward the relationships in our lives, toward the people in our lives, if we're not celebrating our relationships, most likely we're in our ego. No, not most likely. Definitely we're in our ego if we're doing that. We're not humble. We're not in our humility vibration. When we're carrying those things, you can't be in a frequency of hate and resentment and also be humble. Because when we're humble, we remember who we really are. And we remember who we all really are, one shining star. And if we really remember that we are one, that's only accessed through humility, then we can begin to celebrate each and every being for the light that they are. That's true strength. When we can be humble and recognize the light in each being, what happens is not only do we repair our relationships with others, we repair our relationship with self. We open our heart, we open our mind to the truth, the love, the light of the eternal, almighty, one creator, which is the source of all strength. So if you want the strength to get through life, to feel joy, health, to be blessed, to have good relationships, we all want that. It starts with humility. And through that humility, we recognize our oneness, and we can begin to treat each other as the light that we really are. And then naturally what happens is we begin to celebrate each other. Because man, when you see that truth of who you really are in your own reflection, and when you see the truth of who each person is as you pass them by, you can't help but celebrate each being for the light that they are. If you really see them for who they are, wow, that of course will pull out of you such a celebration, such a deep gratitude. That's how we celebrate. So it's not about celebrating from a space of our lower nature and saying, wow, I celebrate this person for what they do for me. Or I celebrate this person because they look good. I celebrate this person because they have a lot of money. It doesn't work like that. We can more effortlessly create this process in our lives to naturally bring out that feeling of gratitude for each other, to naturally want to celebrate each other by staying humble and remembering that all is one. The original light of the Creator is in all beings. And in order to rise to our true strength, we need to open up to the true strength of the one through humility, through seeing that one in each being. And then we naturally celebrate each being. We naturally celebrate all of life, each moment. Okay, think about this too. Kaf is the 11th letter of the alphabet, just like strength is the 11th card in the major arcanum of the tarot. What is 11? 1 is like 1. It's a mirror. 1 is like 1. It's a mirror. But also when you reduce 11 to a single digit, you get 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? This is why 11 is known as a master number. But when you reduce it to a single digit, you get 2. You just get 2. So 11 is really 2 with the higher power of 11. Okay, so you can be at that 2, which is the lower level. 2 represents duality, polarity. And then there's that rising to the higher power of 11 where you unite those 2 within you and bring it back to the 1. The 1 that reflects the higher 1. Everything is numbers. So we are in our truest strength when we become a clearer mirror to reflect that one who is the Most High. If you want to know more about how you can get in touch with this ally, Kaf, and get in touch with the strength archetype as it's portrayed in the tarot, it's in my book, The Royal Path 1. The Royal Path 2 goes into the minor arcanum and the elementals. But if you look at my book number 1 and you go to chapter 11, the strength card, you can begin to understand how this perspective already exists within your mind, how this light already exists within your heart, and you can begin to tap into it. There are questions in the book. You know what? Let's pick it up, because there are many of you who don't have the book. I haven't done this in a while, and I'm happy to. So there's a chapter on each of the cards that tells you a little bit about how to connect to the archetype. And at the end, it summarizes it by giving you the realizations you should have realized now that you're connected with this part of yourself. And then at the end of the book, it gives you the questions that correlate to that archetype so you can begin to question that part of yourself to really bring it out. So somebody said here that they were struggling with being humble, struggling with humility. So let's look at the questions that come with the strength card. In the book, you won't recognize it as strength. I actually call it the Enchantress, because that is the ancient name for it. If you see, the strength card is usually drawn up as a woman with a lion. That's just denoting our feminine nature. It's not necessarily about a woman. It's speaking to our feminine nature. And you'll see in the first part of the book, it does say strength there and enchantress. But in the questions part, it just says enchantress. So for those of you who have the book, that's how you'll find it. Have I been feeling empowered or conquered? How strong have I been in my will to do good? What are my current weaknesses or addictions? Am I allowing impulsive desire to lead my experience? How can I be more austere in the face of temptation? More austere. So even if you've been resisting temptation to what you know is not good for you, how can you be more solid? More of a yes in the face of that adversity. More of a, yeah, I don't want to go that route anymore. Okay, so it's really about taking it to the next level. How have I been responding to challenges mentally, emotionally, physically? What would it look like to respond to my current challenges with true strength? Divine strength. Where in my experience am I expressing a lack of humility? What am I allowing to be the boundary between me and the infinite power of Source? What aspect of myself am I needing to shift in order to embody more compassion? How can I neutralize negativity in my experience? By thinking more positively. Simple. Am I forgetting to tune into the voice of my intuition? Am I forgetting the alliance that I have with the universal forces of creation inside and out? How can I open to be more receptive to the all-virtuous light through its highest expressions? And again, that's just the questions part of that archetype, okay? But there's a whole chapter on connecting to that archetype. So remember, your true strength is in humility, and until you reach that place, you will not be able to create that list of blessings and celebrations for yourself and for those around you, because you won't really believe it. You have to preface that work with coming to that consciousness of oneness, compassion, and humility. That will be the strength that guides you through this process to really, really, truly see the light in others and hold it. And then you will be able to be inspired by life. Only then. You're not going to feel inspired until you can be grateful for who you are and who the people around you are and why they've come into your life. Happy new moon, everybody. I am envisioning all of us weaving more sweetness into our lives, into our relationships. I am envisioning us all being strong in this process of rewriting the script of who we choose to be as we respond to ourselves and as we respond to others around us, to our relationships, from those dearest and nearest to us to the strangers we pass by in the street. I know you can do this. I know that you can here now rise above all of the temporary material concepts of our reality to that space of timelessness and virtuous light where you can there choose to see a new vision, lock in that vision for each person in your life, including the strangers, including yourself and everyone else you see every day. Lock in those stories of celebration and blessing, knowing that when you come back down into the world of material reality, you're going to still hold on to those visions and choose to know that truth beyond all of the inevitable BS that will surface. You got this. Choose a higher story, and remember, it's all just a story. It only becomes true when we allow it, when we activate it, when we ingrain it within our consciousness. So write the script. Write the script for your relationships, your life, your stories, your narrative of yourself, your beliefs about yourself and those around you. And hold true to those stories. Know that whatever else comes is just temporary. See the light in each of these beings, including yourself, and know that it is so real. It's the only part of this experience that's really real and will last forever. Thank you so much for joining me in this activation tonight. Please feel free to share this video with your friends, with your family who you think could really use this message. Maybe you know someone who's extra strong and can empower this portal even further. Send it to them. I'm not sharing the activation much these days, so just kind of share them with a few of my favorite groups, and I try to remember I've got a lot going on too, and I do my best. But if there's someone you know really appreciate this video and maybe appreciate joining us in future activations, please, please, please share this with them. I appreciate this star family so much, which includes all beings, the one. So with that gratitude, I will move into my process of doing this work alongside you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please reach out if you want a copy of my book. I would be so happy to ship it to you personally and sign it and include a little bookmark. I am doing that again. I'm including some fun bookmarks now, so just reach out. Ask me. This video will be posted on YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, for those folks who don't use Facebook, because not everybody loves Facebook. So it'll be on all platforms shortly here as usual. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit follow on my Instagram so that you don't miss these videos. If you love these activations and you haven't yet, please consider writing a review on my Royal Path Tarot Facebook page. Or if you're seeing this recording on YouTube or Instagram, please feel free to just message me a review, share with me your thoughts. I'm collecting them, I'm saving them, and they mean so much to me. I was reading through the reviews about my book online, and it's just awesome to read your words of support. It lifts me up and helps me to keep going and stay motivated and inspired to make more projects. And I am working on new ideas, so I so appreciate your support. Much love, you guys. Happy new moon. Enjoy. Shalom.